Hey everybody. Today, Rahdo runs through yet more correction. It's true. I did a bad thing. I did a bad. Anyone remember that song? No? It was a big hit in the 90s. Really. Anyway, sorry. I've done several bad things recently, and I'm going to try and let you know in this quick video where I made significant rules goofs in recent videos so that if you're watching my videos trying to learn how to play the game, you'll be able to bear this in mind. As always, I'm not going to bother with mistakes where I tried to put 2 and 2 together and ended up with 5. You know, just dumb stuff like that. This is only about rules I fundamentally got wrong. And let's start with the granddaddy of potential rules mistakes, myth. Okay, so I've got quite a little list of things here I gotta mention in case you've actually watched somehow or able to make it through my entire myth magnum opus video. Let's just get right to it. Now the first one, I am so embarrassed. This is not Myth's fault at all. This is entirely on me that I was a total dummy and totally forgot how a core precept of the game works. It had to do with loitering. Throughout the video I kept going on about how we would loiter, we would take on the loiter penalty if ever we failed to play an action card on our turn. But that's not the case at all. You do not have to play action cards to avoid loitering. You only have to play any card. Could be could be an action card, could be a reaction card, if it makes you spend AP. And so that's a very important thing, and I got that totally wrong throughout. Now I don't think it really made that much of a difference in the video I did, but still, FYI, to avoid loitering, any AP spent will do. It doesn't have to be an action card specifically. So that was item number 1. Number 2. Oh, this was, again, just me being an idiot. It's funny, actually, if I recall correctly, I think in that entire run-through, I only ever activated the darkness once. And when I did, I forgot to draw the darkness card. Every time darkness activates, you have to draw a darkness card. I didn't do it because at that point I was so far out, and I knew that there was going to be nothing on the darkness card that could have happened because of the situation I was in. But still, I should have drawn it anyway and resolved it. That was a very dumb oversight. A couple of the little things. Grubbers, they don't roll fate dice. A little thing, but I just misread the card. Let's see. Oh, and throughout the entire opening gameplay video, I was accidentally playing with the cards with the green icons. Those are cards that you normally don't have in a starter deck. You have to level yourself up by finishing story quests to be able to get those green cards. I took them out of the extended playthrough, and I don't even think I ever used one, but still, just FYI, I had cards that I should not have had in my deck. Let's see. Oh, you can only use a fate recipe once. I think there was once when I actually rolled fate die, a couple of fate dice, and was able to do a fate die ability twice. You can't do that. You can only use fate die ability once. That was a dumb thing. And when you do an interrupt, which is to say, on the darkness's turn, if you play an interrupt card that would make you move, that movement apparently, and I didn't know this, but it was pointed out to me, apparently that movement does not count towards your overall turn movement. So that movement does not have the ability to affect other cards you're going to play. Oh, and then last thing, I was paralyzed for so long because I was so afraid that chain lightning spell would just work me over so hard. But it turns out, the way it's written in the manual, I misinterpreted. It's one of those examples where the way it's written, it could be interpreted multiple ways, and apparently I interpreted it the wrong way. Chain lightning trap can only hit any character, if there's only one character in its range, they will only get hit once. It won't hit somebody, a single person, multiple times. It can still bounce it back and forth between characters, but if there's only one person in it, it'll only get hit once if it's within its range. So those are just a few dumb little things I goofed up on Myth. And I probably won't be stopping there. As more people watch that video, there will probably be more Myth corrections in yours and my future. But anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way. Next up, Copper Country. Lovely little game. Did a recent run through for it. It's on Kickstarter right now. Couple dumb things. At the beginning of the game, you only start with 1 miner on the board. I went back and looked at the rules. I have no idea why I thought everybody gets to have 2 miners on the board. You only get 1 miner on the board. So, let's see. Also, when you're doing an excavation, when you're doing a mining action, and you come across something that would cause either a miner's death or a miner going on strike, you can only have the miner who is involved with that operation or your unskilled laborers. Only they can take the hit. In the video, I said that any miner on the board can take a hit, but that's not true. Miners who are halfway across the board, even miners who are in the same space, they can't take the hit. It's only the one who's actively involved or the unskilled labor. They're the only ones who could take the hit or the strike or death hits. And, and this one I couldn't possibly know, but it's just worth mentioning. Since I've done the run through, I didn't have the most up-to-date rules when I played the game, and apparently they have made some slight changes to the way that Poor Rock can fill up one of those Poor Rock hexes. So just FYI, when you get the real game, check the rules because apparently that's changed a little bit. I'm not really quite sure how. I thought it actually worked fine as it is, but they've changed that a little bit, so just FYI. Next up, this is actually going to be pretty quick. I think I'm only going to do 3 games today. No, I'll do 4 games. Third game, 12 Realms, which is another game on Kickstarter that I just did a video for. And this is really dumb. I just totally spaced out. There's 2 types of special powers that monsters can have in the game. One is summoning and one is horde. They look pretty much the same. It's just, a given monster, if it has +1 on their card, that means they are a summoner. And they get to summon one other creature, but they get to do it every single round as long as they stay alive. Whereas horde, they have +2 or +3, and they will bring out bad guys only when they themselves come out, and they'll bring out 2 or 3 more bad guys. I had that right, but what I got wrong was I mixed them up in that when a horde comes out, and let's say he ends up in realm number 4, all of his horde buddies all go into the same spot. It's not that, hey, the fairy comes out, but then the horde of fairies comes out over here. They all come out together. And it's the summoner who, when a skeleton comes out, and is going to summon another skeleton, that skeleton will appear somewhere else randomly on the board. And I had it reversed. I had the horde appearing somewhere randomly and the summoner always appearing in the same place. I just had those 2 things transposed, FYI. Again, I don't think it necessarily, actually I was just making the game harder for myself in the video, but just, it was a dumb little thing, had those backwards. And then last one I'll mention today is Tournay. Wonderful game, absolutely love it. Did a run through for it recently, and this has nothing to do. I didn't actually get any fundamental rules wrong, I don't think, or no, yes, did I? Yeah, no, actually, I'm sorry. I did in fact get some rules wrong, but I've already mentioned those in a previous corrections. But I have one more correction to add that somebody else pointed out to me, and this is in the final thoughts. I complained bitterly and vociferously about the iconography language. The iconography that the game uses, very much the same way that like Race for the Galaxy does, and I just didn't think that was very wise that the game ships without a player aid that lists what all the cards do. And because my copy of the game doesn't. Turns out that that's only the Pearl published copy of the game that was brought out over here in Europe. When Z-Man published the game in English in the States, they had the foresight to actually include a section of the rules that lists what all the cards do. So all that complaining I did is only applicable to the Pearl published version of the game, not the Z-Man published version of the game. So FYI, that. Okay, and I think that's going to be it, folks. Thanks for watching. Apologies as always for these mistakes, but I will continue to make mistakes. I don't know why. I just can't seem to help myself, and yet somehow I do. And otherwise, I'm going to stop it right there. And thanks everybody for watching. And Jen just came in and what, honey pie?
We love you anyway.
That's what's important. That's what counts. Hopefully you folks still love me too. Perhaps not as much as Jen. But I'm a bit flustered now, so I'm gonna sign out now and wish everybody a very nice day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.